Hey everybody, this is Gio, and welcome to my wellness course. A bit about me before we begin. 2012 has been a great year in my life, a huge turning point. From a corporate life where I was really busy to staying at home with our newborn son. I changed from an ambitious, money-oriented and selfish person to someone totally different. It was a huge change I didn't really understand at first. I was too tired to. But during the years that followed, I discovered a lot of techniques to overcome my fears, to go higher spiritually. I learned how to balance myself. I learned how to properly educate our son in order to properly face the changes that have come over since, and changes that I started to feel were coming. I couldn't really grasp them, but I was feeling they were coming, and I started to prepare for them by reading everything that popped up in my way. I learned about homeopathy and floral medicine. I learned about New German medicine, and I was no longer fearful concerning my son's colds and fevers and coughs. I learned about being in balance with my husband. I learned how to be feminine because I wasn't. I told you I was a corporate manager, interested in money and in going upper and upper the ladder. So, in my course, I am going to teach you all the practical techniques that I learned and that have helped me find my peace. I am a practical person, so I will speak only of practical things that I have tried myself and that work. So again, welcome to my course. I'm thrilled you're here, and I hope all the techniques that I'm going to teach you are going to help you as much as they helped me. So, let's begin. Let's start with our first module, a bit theoretical, but not necessarily, because I will give you some hints, some practical hints as well, about feelings. Before being in balance, you need to understand which feelings you need to search, which feelings give you a higher vibration and a greater peace of mind, and which feelings completely bring you down, and you need to run as far as you can from them. So let's begin. Let's start by understanding what vibration means and the difference between low and high vibration. Having a low vibration means that you feel bad, depressed, sad, angry, fearful, guilty, full of hate. You have a low energy level and you have difficulties in balancing yourself. The universe works by the law of attraction. We attract what we are. You will hear about this later on more, and you will even receive some techniques to use in order to activate this law of attraction. I'm sure you've heard that before, so let's see if they work for you. Then, when we have a low vibration, we attract other people with low vibration. Low vibration events happen to us, like we have accidents, we lose money, we get sick, or we attract low vibration beings in the unseen realm that come most of the times to feed on our low vibration energy, leaving us drained. Did it ever happen for you to go into a room or in a place where there wasn't really anybody, but you left that place tired and drained of your energy? Well, chances are some of these low vibration beings were there, waiting for you. So, avoid having a low vibration because you will attract these beings. You will not see them, but you will feel them. Going back to high vibration, it means we are no longer fearful. We understand our purpose. We understand who we are and what we are doing here on Earth. We balance ourselves easily. We are full of energy. We feel love or compassion for those around us, and we understand them. Even if we do not accept their deeds or we do not approve of what they do, but we understand that they are on a different level of evolution and we accept that. When we have a high vibration, we are surrounded by high vibrational people who bring us up too. We see a lot of synchronicity around us, which means all events seem to connect for our well-being, or as we want them to. We encounter a lot of unexpected surprises working in our favor. We are surrounded by high vibration beings in the unseen realm, like angels, for example. that offer us support to get even higher and have access to higher knowledge. We do not see them because we have a slightly lower vibration than they do. But it's easier for them to come closer to us because they cannot get too low in terms of vibration. So they will not be able to reach very low vibration people. If we manage to raise our vibration, it will be easier for them to help us and to guide us. Let's move on. Let's talk a bit about low vibration feelings that you need to avoid. Let's start with fear. It's a feeling that a lot of people feel nowadays. It's a strong negative feeling that lowers our vibration very, very much. Fear must be stopped immediately after it occurs. Because when you feel fear, adrenaline is produced in your brain. It's a chemical that triggers the fight or flight effect. You stay and fight, or you run away. If adrenaline is spread throughout the body via the bloodstream, your fear will be stronger, and it will be much more difficult to stop. So as soon as you feel fear, stop it as fast as you can. As a child, you normally don't feel fear. You are taught to feel fear by your parents or teachers, sometimes imposing their irrational fears on you. Fear is felt by animals as a disruptive energy in their environment. It's an interesting idea that I found in the series of books The Ringing Satyrs of Russia by Vladimir Megre. And this is what Anastasia tells Vladimir, that fear is felt by animals as a disruptive energy in their environment. They don't like it. They feel your fear and somehow it unbalances them. So they tend to act, and they tend to act by eliminating the source of fear. And that's why adults are attacked when they are lost in a forest and young children aren't, because they don't feel fear. Adults are overwhelmed by fear from watching the news, which are designed to cause shock and fear and must absolutely be avoided. You will not lose absolutely anything. The real news are not there, are not on the TV, are not on the internet. You need to feel where to search them. I will speak later on about how to identify truth from lies. Feelings will help you as well. Horror movies also trigger your fear. They are created to drain your energy. Remember that. And stop watching them. Becoming ill and not understanding why triggers fear. Religion, obviously. They speak of a powerful and judgmental God, really to punish any time. That is not true. Absolutely not true. None of the religions spreading fear are speaking the truth. Fear can be stopped by awareness. So understanding that you're afraid, trying to understand why you are afraid, and trying to convince yourself that it's absolutely nonsense. And fear can also be stopped by floral remedies such as aspen, rock rose, or mimulus. For example, let me tell you of a moment where I felt fear and mimulus worked. A few days ago, we were expecting 2 days and 2 nights of severe winds in my area. So I was afraid. Because our house is not ready yet, and I hated the way our roof sounded and squeaked and cracked. So I was a bit afraid. So I started drinking mimulus, and in about half an hour, I no longer felt fear. It absolutely worked. Let's move on. Moving on to guilt. Let's understand this feeling. It's another strong negative feeling that lowers your vibration. It starts in early childhood, when you are being punished for not sharing your toys, for example, for not doing your chores in the house, or for not being good enough in school. It stays with you as a mental blockage that triggers in certain situations. For example, when you're not earning enough money, you're not working enough, you're not doing your chores as a good housewife. All these blockages are not allowing you to have abundance or lead the life you want. Religions, as I said in my previous slide, are very good at triggering fear and also very good at triggering guilt. Christ's image on the cross everywhere is such a trigger. You're not reminded of Christ softly speaking to children, or you're not reminding of his gentle face while turning water into wine. No, you see his image on the cross everywhere to remind you forever that he suffered and died on the cross for your sins, not his, yours. All of this is obviously not true. I highly recommend the book Jesus, My Autobiography, channeled by Tina Louise Spalding, to understand how Jesus' life really was. He was not here to die for nobody's sins. He was here to show us how powerful we are and how we can all change our lives, and that we are all the sons of God and that we can do all the things he could do. He was just a higher spirit here to help us raise. Instead, we feel guilty for his death, which we shouldn't. So please read Tina's book and you will understand how Jesus' life really was. Solutions to remove guilt, awareness, floral remedy pine, self-programming to remove blockages. Let's move on. Speaking about hatred, it's another strong negative feeling that obviously lowers your vibration. It has its origins in not understanding the traumas of people around us, misjudging them. In another module, we will speak about the 7 wounds identified by Lise Bourbeau and the 4 types of energy thieves identified by James Redfield in the Prophecies of Celestine. And you will get to understand how the traumas that the people have turn them into energy thieves, and we might end up hating them and not knowing really why. Humans, as a species, are not mean. They are unfortunately misguided, manipulated, and full of blockages and traumas, some of which even from their mother's womb. Traumas that make them act as they do. Understanding those traumas helps us forgive and get rid of hatred. We will come back to these traumas. Hatred affects both those who hate, lowering their vibration, but as well those that are being hated, when low vibration energy is being sent to them. Everything around us is energy, and it all moves in ripples. Our hatred affects everybody around us, not only ourselves. The solution to get rid of hatred is to try to learn more about the childhood of people you hate and about their traumas. Try to picture them as little children, hurt and fearful. Also remember and accept that each of us has his own level of evolution. We will speak about this part 2 in a later module, because understanding all these ideas help us understand that each of us is on a different level of evolution and accepting their flaws, their strengths and weaknesses. Suffering and resentment. Both are very low vibration feelings. The first is triggering the second. Suffering always triggers resentment. We are here on the earth to learn. That's our only purpose. You will see that in a later module about the findings of Dr. Brian Weiss. We are here to learn and become more loving, and we are here to evolve. Our suffering is only of our own making. We are told we need to suffer in order to be better. We need to suffer in order to be accepted in heaven, and so on. It's not true, and I will tell you why. Suffering doesn't make us better. I will tell you why suffering is not supposed to be part of the truth. Our feelings are our only guiding system here on earth. Everything that triggers positive feelings is part of God's truth and must be followed. But everything that triggers negative feelings is a lie. So how do you feel when you're told that you must suffer in order to go to heaven? Do you feel good? Or do you fear fear, hatred, resentment? Do you feel you need to suffer in order to be better? Suffering doesn't make us better. To be better means to be more loving, closer in nature to higher vibrational beings. Since suffering brings another low vibration feeling, resentment, suffering is therefore not intended by God for us. This is the last slide about negative feelings. I wanted to tell you a bit about them in order to make sure that you recognize them and that you do your best to avoid them. Now, let's go back to a more positive side of this module. Let's speak about positive feelings. Let's start with love. Love is the most powerful positive feeling, giving us extremely high vibration. It's the feeling God used to create us, and the feeling we were created for. We were created by love, with love, and for love. Remember that. Feeling pure love is what we are here to learn about. All our lessons here on earth and in other places we go to during our other lives, because we have several ones, you will find out about them in a later module, have the final purpose for us to be able to feel pure love for all creation. If you can feel pure love for someone, this shows you managed to overcome all fears, hatred, guilt, and resentment. Love is our ultimate purpose. And I mean unconditional love. However, it's easier said than done. The theory looks good, but to be able to feel pure love, a lot must be done to overcome fear, hatred, guilt, to forgive, and to be grateful. We will learn about all these later on. This module was a bit theoretical, but it's useful to know what we are working with. The word love is a high vibration word. Repeating it out loud can raise vibration fast, which means that when you're in great fear, when you panic, when you feel depressed, start repeating out loud the word love, 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 as often as you can, together with other powerful words we will learn about in later modules, like God, like happiness, like courage. And after a while, you will feel to start much better. Just repeating this word out loud will raise your vibration. Also, programming water with this word is very powerful. We will speak about these techniques a bit later in our module about the power of water. For now, all you need to remember that feeling love, unconditional love for our planet and for all the beings around us is our ultimate purpose. Let's speak a bit about gratitude. We will have another separate module in which you will learn how to attract positive things in your life with the power of gratitude. Gratitude is a positive and high vibrational feeling. It means feeling thankful for the things we have and for what we are. Practicing it regularly raises your vibration and activates the law of attraction. The more grateful we are for something, the more of that we will receive, even if we don't have much. Currently, if we keep feeling grateful for what we have, we will have more and more. And you will see about that. We will speak in another module about the book The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. As I said, we will come back to gratitude in a separate module where you will learn practical techniques for attracting positive things in your life with the use of gratitude. And to conclude this module, we will speak about how our feelings guide us. I told you a bit about in the slide about suffering and resentment. Our feelings are our only real guiding system during these times of chaotic flood of information. They are the only powerful and real thing we can use to separate the truth from the lies meant to manipulate and enslave us. Remember that. We have our power of will, and that's a powerful universal law. Nobody can force you to do something you do not want. All beings must respect other beings' power of will. However, they can inflict fear, they can scare you, they can manipulate you in order to accept something by yourselves. So, it's very important to be able to sort out the truth from lies, and your feelings are the best guide. If something triggers a positive feeling, then it's part of God's truth and must be pursued. Love, gratitude, happiness, joy, calm, peace, forgiveness are all part of God's gift to us to find our way. If you feel that, then the thing triggering it is part of the truth. But if something triggers fear, for example, when the church tells you that if you do not obey, God will punish you and you will boil in hell, this triggers fear, obviously. Run as fast as you can from it. Reject it immediately, as it's far from the truth. Fear, guilt, hatred, or resentment are negative feelings that are triggered instinctively in us when something is not the truth. We have no other powerful way to guide ourselves. The feelings are always with us. Remember, however, that they mustn't be altered by anything such as alcohol, drugs, or any other substances that can lower the voice and message of our feelings. Keep yourself lucid in order to understand their message and to find your way. This is all about feelings. Join me in the other modules for practical techniques in order to activate positive feelings and to raise our vibration. Thank you for listening to this module. Love, Gio.